It's a real pleasure to be here with you all, and I also have to say on this hot, muggy summer day, it's really nice to be in this basement with this cool air. It's really quite lovely. My name is Terrence Doherty. I use he, him, his pronouns. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the National ACLU and also its General Counsel, and I have the privilege of kicking off this summit. I want to start by warmly welcoming all of our guests from partner organizations, research organizations, philanthropy, industry, and others. You've all said yes to join our intimate and inaugural gathering today. We were intentional about who we asked to join us in order to foster a meaningful exchange among participants. I also want to start by thanking the ACLU's tech team, another round of applause, which is led by Iji Mbamalu, our Chief Technology Officer, who you'll be hearing from later today. I have the great fortune to oversee this team, and this team knows all too well that as new AI tools come online, we have to be wary of the concentration of power and resources in the technology industry that can supercharge discriminatory practices rather than help eliminate them. The ACLU Tech team's vision for today's summit is why we're here today. I also want to share my sincere gratitude to my colleagues across the ACLU who have made this event possible and believed in supporting our technology department's vision, many of whom you'll be hearing from today, including my co-deputy executive director, AJ Hikes, who will be closing us off. And you will also get to hear today from the president of the ACLU, Deborah Archer. I thought I would start by giving a little bit of a background with how we're thinking about AI and excuse me, its intersection with civil rights and civil liberties. So the ACLU began in 1920 during the Red Scare. These were actions by the Department of Justice led by the then Attorney General A. Mitchell Palmer, where they arrested and deported thousands of suspected radicals, in particular people who they suspected were or who identified as anarchists and communists. And they did so in many cases without warrants and without proper due process. The newly formed ACLU challenged these actions, and which became known as the Palmer Raids. Over the past 105 years since then, the ACLU has been a leader in the fight against the most egregious abuses of power. We and our colleague organizations like LDF and Planned Parenthood and many others have shown the world that advocacy and expertise works. It can deliver justice and it can defend fundamental freedoms. At the same time, we also know that we can never rest on our laurels. One of the ACLU's founders, Roger Baldwin, famously stated that no fight for civil liberties ever stays won. And today we see new attacks against immigrants that remind us of the Palmer Raids. And we also see new developments in technology that pose great risks to civil rights and civil liberties. The speed to design AI-enabled systems and to adopt generative AI can negatively impact civil rights and civil liberties. Today's incursions on civil rights and civil liberties may look different than they did when the ACLU was founded, but the threats are no less real. A robust technology team is something new to the ACLU and quite rare among nonprofits, but it's key to addressing AI-enabled systems. A technology team is a tool beyond our lawyers in the courtrooms, our lobbyists in the legislatures, and our constituents in the streets, so that we can also use to ensure that AI-enabled systems are audited for discriminatory impacts and bias. I want to be clear, the ACLU, we understand that AI can be an asset to an organization's work, but it needs to be implemented thoughtfully and responsibly. Meaningful adoption of technology requires that we take an approach grounded in carefully selecting the right tool for the job at hand and balancing the benefits computational tools may provide against possible risks of harm. For this reason, when it comes to AI adoption, moving carefully and intentionally is much more fruitful in achieving our overall mission than moving fast and breaking things. Our risk-based approach to adoption has been our North Star and guides how we approach the integration of this emerging technology with our deeply rooted commitment to ethics, transparency, and fairness. So today, you will hear about the role of social justice organizations in AI governance. You'll hear about the many ways that AI systems used in high-stakes areas like policing, hiring, family placement, and housing can reinforce systemic inequalities, raising concerns about surveillance and racial bias. You'll hear about the critical role that philanthropic organizations play in shaping practices around the development of emerging technology. Finally, you will also hear from a panel of responsible AI experts within and outside of the ACLU, who will share their expertise about the ethical, technical, and operational implications they are exploring before adoption. So before turning to this exciting content, some housekeeping. For those of you in the room, we will be together until 3 o'clock p.m. with 2 bio breaks built in, one at 11:15 and another at 1:30. At 12:15, we'll have a working lunch where there'll be time for you all to meet each other and in a more informal environment, get to know each other. And then the afternoon, we will have breakout sessions. For those of you who are here online, or welcome, and we will be together until 12:15. So just some minor points. If we will have a number of question and answer sessions during our day together, please feel free to speak up and share with us what you're thinking. It will be useful if you will first let us know your name and your organizational affiliation, and to speak slowly so that everyone can hear what you have to say. So with that, I would like to turn to introduce you to Ijoma Mbamalu, who is our Chief Technology Officer and who will be ushering us into the next session.